is for my use for later. But I'm going to record because I want to talk about a couple of things. If you know me, if you've been rocking out with me, if you follow me on social media, you definitely know I love to give principles. I love to give information. I want to say thank you to those that have purchased the book. If you have not, you may have an opportunity at the end of all this to be able to win a book and win some other things a part of this. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. If those others that join later, we just gonna rock out with them as well. But here's the thing that I want to discuss about this particular book. Again, it's called You Are the Fragrance. Most people think, yes, it is designed for pastors' wives, but at the same time, it is designed for any woman. I created this for pastors' wives because I have a pastors' wife group. But I also want to let people know that, give you an opportunity to get to know your pastor's wife, but it also gives you an opportunity to look beyond just being a pastor's wife. I tell people this all the time is that I learned from TD Jakes is that so many people, I don't care if you're a woman, pastor's wife. So when I'm talking, I'm going to be talking to the women on this call, and then I'm going to be talking to that pastor's wife on this call. And so what I realized is that doing this process of writing this book is that so many people put a title on a category, give us this title or this category that we need to be in as individuals. And I typed this down, so I wanted to say this is because so many people allow us, if you're a woman, there's a title that people give you, a mother, or you're his wife, or you're their mom, or whatever the case may be. They put this title on us, and what happened is they give us these titles and put us in this prison of this is all that you're gonna be. Ha, come here. So for the next 4 days, and in this book, what I have done and what God has given me is to show that individual, not just a pastor, wife, but also women, show women that it's just not a period when it comes to who you are. It's just not a period. And I tell every pastor's wife that most people put pastor wives in this category of you're just the pastor's wife. When it's no longer a period, but it's a comma. Can somebody say comma or shake your head or something? There's a comma after your name. You're not just his wife, but there's a comma after your name. Come here, Glory. There's a comma after what you're called to do. And so what I did within 3 months, I wrote this book for my mentees and made it available to everybody. I wrote this to let people know that there's a comma after your name. You are just not a pastor's wife. You are just not a friend. You are just not a mother. You're just not a sister. You're just not that. There's a comma after what you're called to do, after what you're designed to do, after what you are created to do. And it's realizing that there is not a period at my name. I tell everybody this, and I tell my mentees this, is that at the end of the day, that yes, your destiny is to be a mother. Yes, your destiny is to be the pastor's wife. Yes, your destiny is to be the woman, but that is not your destination. Come here. Now, if you know me, you know my come here means. Get that, catch that. That's not your destination. That's not your destination. Everything that you do is connected to your daily routine. So for the next 4 days, after doing a menteeship with some ladies, and some of them are on here, I have ladies that started businesses or were in businesses and were able to catapult in other areas of their lives that would be able to take them to the next level in their lives. And so what I realized is that being able to go to the next level is learning that there is a period after your name. I was going to go over, kind of tell you who I am for those that don't know, because some of you do know me, some of you don't. I will say this, let me pause, because Lord, I just went in. My name is Tonya Harden. I'm the pastor's wife of Bishop Clyde Harden Jr. I had a whole presentation I wanted to show you, just to kind of give you who I am. No, I am going to show you, because I need you to know that there is a comma after. Can somebody say comma? Oh, okay, take your phone off mute just for a second and say there's a comma after whoever they put me in this box and told me I was gonna be this, but there's a comma. Can somebody say there's a comma?
There's a comma.
There's a comma.
There's a comma after your name. You're not just that. You're more than just being that wife. You're more than just being their mother. It's so much bigger than that. And so what I realized, Sister Lee, what I tapped into was that, oh my God, I want to share with women that what you're called to do is so much bigger, but especially pastor wives, because so many people put us in the box, but also again for women. So this is what I want to share with you. If you don't know me, I'm gonna go through this real quick. For those that don't know, this is my birthday celebration. I'm gonna go this as quick as I can. For those that don't know me, this is my birthday celebration. Yes, it is the month of June where I celebrate my birthday. We're gonna be talking about this book. For those that don't know me, my name is Tonya. I'm a Christian. I'm a wife of the cutest bishop ever, Bishop Clyde Harden Jr., and I'm the mother of three beautiful girls. And the pastor of New Destiny Fellowship Church. These are my beautiful children. You have Kiana, which is now she's about to be 20. She's the CFO of she does stuff in our company. Alana, she also works with our company. She's a motivational speaker. I call her Jesus Sister. Then I have Madison, my 13-year-old. She is gifted and she's anointed to have the biggest heart ever. And of course, my baby daddy right there, right? I'm also the author of There's Power in Your Pain, Marriage Survival Guide. I'm also, my husband and I did a book that is the sequel to this book that we're about to talk about, which is Church Hurt, But It Helped. Which we're going to talk about in a minute, which is the fragrance. I have nonprofit organizations as well as a profit. I have businesses. I do business with my husband, which is Harden Enterprise. I also do other businesses that I will talk about later. So here we go. Let's get started. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. That's just a little bit about me so that you can kind of know me for those that don't know me. Doing that, I realized that so many people, again, put women in these boxes. And when they put us in these boxes, we become, what's the word I want to use? We become stagnated. Yeah. We get to a point to where we think, okay, this is all I'm designed to do. This is all I'm created to do. And we allow people to put us in prison situations. Can somebody say amen? We allow some people to put us in prison situations. And so one of the things I realized that when I wrote this book to that woman, again, designed for pastor's wife, but also to that woman that want to get to know a pastor's wife, and also to that woman that realized that you have a fragrance as well. Yeah, I said pastor's wife with the fragrance because of the church. One thing about a pastor's wife, she's able to connect with multiple people. She's able to, when you hit a church, you hit a city. When you hit a city, you hit a community. When you hit a community, you can hit the entire, it's a domino effect. And that's why a lot of people use pastors to be able to be in politics and all this stuff, because they realize that the church has a great effect on people. But I also realize that women, period, God has given us something that is so unique, that is so different. But there's a fragrance. There's something that we can do. Y'all ready? As women, we can set the tone and we can mess up our atmosphere when we got the wrong attitude. Let the church say, yeah, when we got the wrong attitude, we can mess up our atmosphere. And so one of the things I talk about, and one of the topics, I talk about a lot of things in this book, but the three major things that I discuss in this book, and every pastor's wife know that is connected to me, which also can go for every woman, right? Which is number one, stay connected to God. You know, I talk about this. I go deeper in the book about staying connected to God. I talk about three major principles in this book. Is that number one, we got to be willing to have a consistent prayer life. You don't have to be no pastor's wife to do that. Every individual on this call, everybody watching this, we have to have a consistent prayer life. Just something real simple that I talked about in the book. I talked about speaking out loud. I talked about a daily dose of God's word. I talked about spiritual maturity, because being a woman, if we're going to grow, if we're going to glow, and if we're going to go to the next level in God, we got to get to a point to where we become more mature in our approach and in our response to what we do, right? So I kind of deal with that, and I talk about that in the book. Just some simple things that I talk about, because tonight I want to talk about something specific. I also deal with affirmations. I have seen the manifestation of what God can do because of affirmations. I've seen the evidence of God because of the things that I speak out loud. And I just know that everybody on here on this call, you're chosen by God. And if you're chosen by God, you have an opportunity to speak and watch things be manifested in your life. Another thing I talk about was, what are the benefits of being staying connected to God. I talk about how, being busy in ministry, doing purpose, how you don't have time to listen, to other people, how you got to get to a point to where you're learning your identity in God. I talk about that, the importance of making sure you keep the kingdom first in everything you do. That's one thing I talk about. The next thing I talk about is staying connected to God. Again, I'm giving you a snippet of the topic that I'm giving you a snippet of the book, but I want to give you what I'm really going to talk about today, which is you are not alone. That's the topic that I'm talking about tonight. But to stay connected to your marriage, I talk about that. The vows that you made. Again, that can go for any woman. The vows that you made between you and your husband, you got in front of this church and you made these beautiful vows in front of God and all these people. And sometimes we renege on the vows. Come here, somebody. We renege on the vows. And so I talk about that. I deal with that. I also deal with the balance in the marriage. I deal with the danger signs of frustration, confusion, tension. I deal with that. I deal with spiritual defeat. This is something that all women will deal with in life, is spiritual defeat. I talk about that. I also talk about number 3, and lastly on this part, is staying connected to ministry. I talk about staying connected to ministry. 3 major things I talk about is how, and that could be for any minister's wife, any pastor's wife, but also any woman that is doing ministry. Here's the thing with ministry. Write this down somewhere. Is that when it comes down to ministry, you're leaving a legacy. When leaving a legacy, it is not leaving something for somebody, but it's leaving something in somebody. You're leaving something in somebody. So every individual on here should have ministry, something that you do in ministry, for ministry, and you're walking in ministry. So I found out, I talk about how to be married to your ministry, your ministry. I'm not talking about your husband. I'm not talking about nobody else, but I'm talking about your ministry. The importance of being married to your own ministry. I'm talking about how to understand your ministry, understanding the ministry that you're in, the church that you're in, understanding the ministry that God called you to do. I also talk about how to get your vision, get how to understand your visionary, which is your pastor, your leader, understanding your visionary. But tonight, what I really, really want to lay my hat and talk about, which is a part in the book, and I know Lady Trivia then read it. Me and her gonna rock out and discuss the book more. But one of the things I talked about in the book was you are not alone. But that was a comma and then a but. So you are not alone, comma, but. And half of my pastor's wife, in my pastor's wife connection, have heard me talk about this, but I go a little bit deeper. I go a little bit deeper because I think what happens is that so many women, we feel like that I don't need nobody. Just raise your hand on the little screen if you can. I don't need nobody. I can do this by myself. I can do it bad all by myself. I'm by myself. Okay, it's just me. I can do bad all by myself. I don't need nobody. I don't need to have no friends because everybody didn't hurt me. Come here. Everybody didn't hurt me. I'd rather do this thing by myself, especially pastor wives. Nope, I'm not gonna let you in my comfort zone because you make me nervous because I don't know what you're gonna do. Are you gonna talk about me? I really, really go into depth, but I want to go into depth with some of the things that I discussed in this. You are not alone. What happens is in this book, my goal is to show that individual that when you are in transition, come here, there are some times that God is going to disconnect some people from you. There are some times that you're going to have to untie. There are some times that you are going to have lonely moments because where God is about to take you and God is about to do with you is going to be not only life changing, but it's going to change the trajectory of your entire family. Come here. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you something I know. In 2015, I tell people all the time, that was my crazy number, Lady Davis, Lady Trivia, 2015 was the time that I was sitting in my church as the pastor's wife, sitting there thinking to myself, Lord, what's next? What am I supposed to do next? Is this it? I'm just his wife. I'm just their mother. I'm just the pastor's wife of this church. If you ever been there before, I dare you to just look at me like I'm on Facebook or something. I dare you to just like or show your hand. If you've ever been there before and said, I done been in a place where I feel stuck. I know that God is blessing all around me. He's making a way, but I still feel stuck. I still feel stagnated. And I'm asking God, what is next? I'm telling you, this is the reason why. I'm not trying to pump you up to get this book. I wanted to do this for 4 days because I realized that there was something, come here, Lady Davis. There was something that I tapped into in 2015 that said, I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who coming, who not. But I realized that God, I don't want to take this dream to my grave. Oh, that's what the book is about. Yeah, it's a curveball, baby. Most people think, yes, I did say Pastor White, but if I believe this, Lady Kelly, if I could touch a pastor's wife, excuse me, that means that every pastor's wife will be able to touch every woman in her church. If I could get a pastor's wife to change her mind and see that she's not just a pastor's wife, period, but she's a pastor's wife, comma. Oh, come here. I'm Pastor Tonya Harden. I'm also a mentee. I'm also a business owner. I'm also a book writer. Come here. I'm not just a pastor's wife. I'm not just, but in 2015, that's all I was. Yeah. That's it. Oh, for those that don't know me, I'm very passionate. I'm not yelling. I'm just really passionate about this because I realized that so many women have been stuck like me sitting in that church, man. I thought that we made it. We were called a pastor church, and this is the level. You know, I come from church, so this is the level we were trying to get to. Right here was pastor in the church. But Lord, what's next? Yeah. Have you ever been there? Sitting at work. What's next? Am I this all I'm supposed to do? Am I just supposed to work for this job forever? How do I build legacy? Lord, what do I do? That's where I found myself in 2015 sitting in my church. And I'm watching women grow and I'm pouring into women, but I'm empty. Woo! Have you ever been there? Been in a place where you're pouring, but you're empty. You're pouring into your family. You're pouring into your friends. You're pouring into your coworkers, but you're empty. But you empty. Because you continue to keep pouring, but you're empty. And one of the reasons that you're empty, because God has you come here, my Bishop Clyde Harden Jr. God has you at a place where he's at a place that he's just pressuring. He has the pressure on you so well that he's not punishing you, but he's just trying to push you. That's it. You at a place of push. I come in this book to push. That's it. I come to push those in the church to just not get caught up with the four wall. Church hurt, but it helped. Yeah, that was just to kind of let you know to stay in the church. This here is the what I say earlier. It's the sequel to let you know. Yeah. Still do ministry, but your ministry is so much bigger than the four walls of a church. It's bigger than that. Yes, the church, the pastor's wife said it. It's bigger than the four walls of a church. So I come to let you know, yeah, you're not alone, but there are some times that you're going to have to do this thing by yourself. But, somebody say but. Oh, just put the hand up. You don't have to say nothing. Just put the hand up. But, that's your but. I need your amen right there. But I realized on this journey in 2015, while trying to find my way, while trying to identify who am I outside of my husband. Why did I get to that point in 2015? Because I was told by the doctors if they took this medication that I was taking away from me, that I would end up in a coma and could die. Ooh, have you ever been in a situation where you're about to die? I'm talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about at a point to where you're just going through life, through the routine, just doing life. Yeah. I know you thought it was about a pastor's wife. No, boo. Yeah, it's designed for them, but it's also designed for that woman that said, man, there's something about you. There's a fragrance. There's a scripture that I use in the book that God chose you. You didn't choose him. It's John 15. Oh, got on the shirt right here. God chose you. You didn't choose him. And I want to give one of them shirts away because every time I walk around, Sister Lee, in this shirt, I always get compliments saying, man, that shirt is, because people don't realize that God chose you, not people. So my goal in this book is to show you, hey, we're going to get to the comma. So for the next 4 days, I want to get to a point. There's a reason why I got different topics for these 4 days because we're going on a journey. Can somebody say journey? Just put your hand up. Journey. We're going on a journey because I realize that as we go on this journey, and Lady Davis and Lady Tina, Lady Davis and Lady Payne can attest to this. Do I know how to take you on a journey, Lady Davis, Lady Tina, Lady Tina, Lady Trivia, Lady Davis? Do I know how to take you on a journey?
Absolutely. Praise God.
4 days. I want to go on a journey with you, as well as talk about more about the book. But here's the thing. Again, this book ain't just, I said it. It's not just for pastor's wife, because there's an aroma about you. There's something that God, I told you, this is where you are right now is just, it's just your destiny. It's not your destination. This is not it. God has so much in store for you, but it's up to us to be able to look at it. So 2015, I sat in that church on the front row. Church is full, packed, over 200 and some people sitting in the church. But Lady Kelly, but I'm sitting there, I'm lost. Yeah, because I really don't know what's next. Lord, I'm sick. You said that that I could die. I don't know what's next for me. I need you to direct me, and I need you to help me to get to my next. And it took me saying that I no longer wanted to just be my husband's wife and my children's mother and my sister's sister. That God, there's something. It got to be something more to this, and that's what I want to talk about. But the only way that I could get there, Sister Lee, is that I felt like on that day sitting in that church, what's up, Sister Rail? In that church, I felt like, and Sister Rail was my armor bearer at the time, and I don't even know if she remember this, but I felt like in that church, I thought to myself, but I'm by myself. Even though all these people around me, I still feel alone. Whew, have you ever been there? I got husband, I got family, I got children, I got everything, but I still feel I got a pastor, I got a leader, but I still feel by myself. I still feel like I don't know what's next. I'm in a house with a family full of everybody, but I still felt alone. I still felt by myself. Because here's the thing. I didn't understand the value of staying connected to God, staying connected to my marriage, and staying connected to my ministry. Because everything else can fall. But if I learn how to stay connected to God, then my marriage, then ministry, what happens? I'm not talking about, I'm talking about accountability. I'm talking about character, a character building moment. I talk about that in the book, the importance of building your character. Because there's some things that God wants to do with you that until we fix this part, I'm writing a book with my ladies right now called There's a Real Heal You. Until God can fix this part of you, you can't tap into the next thing. You got to be willing to tap into this part of you first to be able to grow in that level. So what did I do? What did I do? I realized that, Lady Davis, there were some areas that I needed to be alone because I needed to find out who was for me and who was not for me in this season. Maybe you're alone because God said, I need you to be at a place where all you can do is seek me. You can't go get it from your husband. You can't go get it from your friend. You can't even get it from your pastor. You can't get it from your mentor. You can't get it. I need you to seek me. And that's where I was. I had to seek God. But even in the midst of seeking God, I still had people around me. Because let me tell you something that the enemy does. And this is what I talk about in this book. It's one of the things that the enemy does. And I'm almost done. Listen, the enemy does. He makes us think that nobody loves us. He makes us think that we're in this thing all by ourselves and we are not coming out. I felt like that there was no light at the end of the tunnel. I felt like that I was not going to overcome this. I felt like I was stuck for the rest of my life. Oh, have anybody ever been there? Felt like I was stuck for the rest of my life. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to go over this pain. I'm not going to get over what happened to me. I'm not going to get over what they said about me. But God, I realized that at the end of the day, when I learned some principles that I'm about to share with you now, and I got the right people with me, I found out that God, I can do this. I can do it by myself, but I'd rather do it with somebody. You ready? How did I learn to do it? I learned that even though I'm not alone, I still had some people with me. I had number one, my spiritual parents. I talk about that in the book. Lady Trivia, have you got to that part? I talk about that. Go ahead. You on mute. I can't hear nothing you saying.
Oh, shoot, I'm steady talking. Uh, I actually did, and you talked about the different relationships, but I don't know if it's the time to talk about them, but
Okay,
yes.
no, we'll talk tomorrow. No, pause. No, yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk. But I talk about spiritual parents, the importance of having someone that can spiritually speak into you, so that can, and we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna have questions and all that. If you want to ask me about it, we're gonna talk tonight. But spiritual parents, I had to have somebody that could be able to hold me accountable to the high call of God. I had to have somebody in my family, in my life that could be able to hold me accountable. Number two, the second kind of person I needed was a mentor. Because if I just got caught up on my spirit, and I talk about that in the book, if you just get caught up on your spiritual leaders, now what'll happen is they'll end up becoming that's a cult. No, we ain't trying to build no cult. We're trying to get some things in you that your spiritual leaders will not be able to help you with. You need somebody that can mentor you to be able to help you with. I talk about the different kind of mentors and the kind of mentors that you should look for in the individual, because here's the thing. Yes, you need God. First of all, let me go back. Like I said, you got to stay connected to God. That's your number one thing. Stay connected to your marriage. Stay connected to ministry. If you do not have a marriage, your marriage is with God. Come here. I know that's so cliche, but your marriage is with God. You have it so great because you don't got to answer to nobody. But staying connected to that. So when you learn that, you learn how to be connected to your spiritual parents. Number two, you learn how to be connected. And I talk about mentorship. Then I also talk about number three, the other kind of person you need in your life is a friend. Everybody need a friend. I don't need, as a pastor's wife, I don't need everybody around me to, oh, you're great. Oh, you're awesome. We love you, First Lady. You're so amazing. Now I need that friend to say, you ratchet. You a hot mess. Girl, if you don't get over there and sit down somewhere, they know Tonya. They know the hood of me, right? You need friends in your life that can tell you about yourself, and good friends, loyal, all that. Okay. Next kind of person you need is a coach, because there are places that coaches could take you versus a mentor. There's just two different things. There's places that a coach can take you that a mentor can't. I have a coach right now in business. Her name is Latasha Brooks. Love her dearly. She's our coach when it comes to business. I gotta have somebody. I got spiritual leaders. If you don't know, you don't know me. My spiritual daddy and mama is Bishop L.J. Woodard and Lady Woodard. Love them to pieces. My mentor is Nona Jones. There's a lot of stuff she do. I jump on to because Nona Jones, that's my girl. And my other mentor is Lady Victory Bro. You gotta have different people in your life that can speak into those areas that nobody else can. Got to. It's necessary. If you're gonna grow where you are. Last but not least, you gotta have a support group. Somebody that can support you, man, and what you're doing. Y'all, I'm over here sweating, Jesus. Somebody that can support you. You need a support group that can support you in what you're doing and where you're going. You need those things because you're not by yourself. I don't care what the enemy, I don't care what trick he give you. The only reason why I ended up being alone, Lady Kelly, the only reason why I ended up being alone because it was my choice. I decided I'm in this by myself, and I had the biggest pity party ever. They don't like me. Don't nobody like me. Everybody's against. I would come home crying to Bishop. Everybody's against me. The whole church don't like me. It was only 5 or 6. Girl, I told you we had 200. Well, number 5 or 6 that didn't like me. But in my mind, I had created everybody didn't like me. Come here. On your job, everybody don't like you. Girl, it's just two. Stop. It's only two of them that don't like you. It's not everybody. But when you are alone and you don't seek other I call it networking opportunity, man, you mess up. So here's what I want to do, and I'm closing this out for those of you who are watching. I'm opening this up only to those that are online for Q&A. But thank y'all for rocking out. But I'm gonna stop recording right now. But I wanted to encourage you, man. Listen, the next couple of days, again, this book